I should sell my soul. Bankrupt. Bankrupt. Bankrupt.
Hello, this is Philosophy versus Improv. My name is Mark Linsenmeyer, your improv ringleader today.
Improv ringleader.
Why
This
do
is
I
Bill
keep saying
Arnett.
that? Why do I say? I said that last time. A ringleader of sorts, but trained in philosophy. Sorry.
Yes, and my name is Bill Arnett, the true improv ring master. Yes, yet a philosophy elephant cleaner up behind her to keep the circus metaphor going.
All right, this is team play. We got two guests who don't even
Yes.
know each other. We've had two guests before, but they've always come together. Jenny, introduce yourself.
I'm Jenny Hansen. I'm like the tiger that needs to be tamed in the circus. As a philosopher. No, not really. But that's, I mean, we're trained to have these sort of ferocious debates.
Yes.
I'll try to keep it
Yes.
inside.
And you're a philosophy professor.
Philosophy professor at St. Lawrence University, up here in the frozen tundra of northern New York. Yes, near the Canadian border.
All right.
And
I'm Adal Rifai, a man in a bear suit selling merchandise, but I'm not having a great year. Not a lot of commissions. I am a podcaster. I do a few improv podcasts. I teach improv at UIC here in Chicago, and just a general fan of improv.
I'm so sorry to hear that the circus stuff is not selling well. Can you elaborate on that to start us off?
Yes. So listen, I'm so happy that PETA kind of came down hard on the elephant thing, because I think I agree with that. I agree, but they replaced it with holograms, much like they did with Tupac and ABBA.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot of holograms of animals, and I think that the kids just aren't having as good of a time. Therefore, they're not lingering for merch.
But thanks to the Elephant Keepers Union, I am still kept on to shovel hologram manure.
That was the only thing in the room I didn't want to bring up, Bill. I'm glad you did. Thank you.
that was the actual elephant in the metaphorical room. We didn't want to.
What you
like
guys
water
are not,
like water for holograms.
You're not seeing the advantages here, that by having the elephants be holograms, they can really get in the individual viewers' faces. They can do all sorts of things that are physically impossible for elephants. It makes it a much more up-to-date experience.
Mark, if I may, since I'm the one selling the merch and working for the circus, right in the thick of it. Remember back in like 1904 when they had movies where the train was coming right at the audience and the audience screamed and ran away and cried? It's like that, where an elephant comes charging at your child and you don't know any better. You're instinctually just sort of grabbing them and running. So we get a lot of people leaving early as well. And is this the whole show? Is the whole show juggling, as it were, to coin a phrase? Juggling in a circus metaphor?
I just wanted to go with this until Jenny felt comfortable enough to jump in.
I feel comfortable, but I'm like, I'm trying to figure out where I'm going with this. Like, am I walking the tightrope over the virtual elephant, the hologramic elephant?
Jenny communicated to me a particular philosophy lesson that I have things to add about that. So I figured, let's do some improv, and you can just try to sneak it in, embody it.
Sneaky philosophy. Yes.
And so Bill and Adal, did you end up communicating about the lesson, or
improvisers communicate beforehand? Mark.
No, my friend, that's sketch. You're thinking of sketch.
All
Also,
right.
Mark, thank you for joining us from the Beautiful Minds set. Wonderful work behind you.
This is the ultimate cop out that is in every improviser's hip pocket. I thought this was improvised. It has saved me countless times and has allowed me to stay in bed hours.
Did anybody publicize the show?
I missed my calling, damn it. I didn't know there was a path for me like that, improvising. I'm not procrastinating. I'm improvising when needed.
I do have a lesson in mind, and I think I can, if you'd like me to chat it to Adal, I can, but I think
it's completely up to you. If it would help,
I think Adal will understand.
Okay.
Adal, would you like the lesson chatted to you?
And send it now.
And okay.
Or would you like the joy of discovery? I mean, if you're,
Here's
If
what
you-
I'll say. I would refute Bill's kind offer and just purely improvise, but I don't think I've been on this podcast in 2 years. I can't remember anything we're supposed to be doing. So I'm
all right.
so I'm cool to improvise. I'm an improviser, but I'm also terrified because I'm like, was there something I was supposed to prep? What am I?
So let us back up for the benefit of those. I feel like new listeners, would they still be listening at this point? But I asked that of all my podcasts about 5 minutes in, because at least I see the stats on YouTube where it shows how many people watch the first minute of everything. I think it's not just my stuff, and then it's gone from the world.
Okay. Do we need to front load this thing up top? Put some sex and violence right at the beginning of these shows? Is that what we need to do?
I was getting that way with the what the porn elephants could do. I mean, there's lots of things.
What are they, those clowns are doing in the car? I didn't think you fit so many in there. They're spooning.
They're
That's
like Russian nesting dolls.
Yeah. Gross. Yeah.
I think there should be a clown car cam. So
you want to be the first nesting doll, or yeah.
Yeah, it's like Human Centipede. Do you want to be at the front or the end or in the middle?
Yeah. Yeah.
There was a human centipede at Eurovision this year. I can't remember the act, but it was quite a thing.
Excuse me, what?
At Eurovision, I didn't go to Eurovision. I watched Eurovision, and one of the acts had like a human centipede dancing. It was a terrible song.
That's incredible.
Someone will know, listen to this and hate me for life. But yes, it was a human centipede.
Was it a conga line? I mean, I know that it's just a matter of gradation between a conga line, but I think the position of the mouth, Ray, the person in front of you's anus, is sort of key in the human centipede.
But it had all of the campiness of Eurovision too. So like it was like an awkward.
Yeah. A mock human centipede.
It was a mess. It was a murder scene. It was terrible.
Mark, what you said reminded me, maybe it was Harold Ramis who said, what's the difference between a kiss ass and a brown noser? Proximity.
Okay.
Bill, do you want to explain the format to the first time listener / viewer?
Well, since you and I went over this for hours yesterday, the exact format
telepathically,
similar to the past show, but the idea was if people could have teammates, maybe we could more deeply explore some of these ideas, both philosophically and improvisationally, via teammates, to help these little points and things be a little bit more impactful. I think that was it. Otherwise, the format, we'll do a couple scenes, we'll chat in between. What did we learn? What's the improv lesson? What's the philosophy lesson? How does that make us feel? What do we think about it? Perhaps do another scene, and then at the end, we haven't gotten there yet. We'll decide.
we now have a committee that will decide which lesson is more powerful. Each person will have a vote, and if it's a tie, then I think we have to fight.
Yeah.
But luckily that we have distance. You know, we can't be literal kiss asses or brown nosers, Adal, at this distance. I'm sorry.
Yes, and just so you know, here at the circus, anytime there's a tie or a dispute, usually settled with close-up magic. So flex those fingers, get some prestidigitation prepared.
So, Mark, you wanted to think we should begin with an improv scene?
I think so. I mean, I think we can give a hint that Jenny's something in the area of speech acts in philosophy of language. So that's very convenient, given that we're, again, despite the fact that the YouTube people can see us in our beautiful faces, we really have only words to connect one with each other. Otherwise, we're just alone.
Well,
or Chat GPT is what we are.
I wanted to tell everybody we're going to be heading out. We're going to be heading out of Akron a day early. Ticket sales have been terrible, so we're going to break down procedures of the Big Top here tonight rather than tomorrow night.
Breakdance procedures.
Breakdown. Big Top breakdown procedures.
We will have breakdancers though. The Jabberwockies are in the building.
Akron, tough market, huh?
Yeah, tough market. Exactly. They're just not. No, I mean, no one's really coming to the circus.
No one wants joy in their hearts anymore in Akron.
No one wants joy anywhere in their hearts. I mean, the circus is doing terribly, y'all. We're I mean, you know how hard it is to get a train these days to take everything. So we got to load up a day early. That's what I'm saying. I'm sorry, but we're leaving town a day early.
Okay. As the strong man,
Mhm.
I will say, it pains me that a lot of people are just tossing around the idea of like we're packing up early when I know that a lot of this falls on my shoulders, literally and figuratively. I do 99% of the loading up. So I just wish people weren't so. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That you say we got to pack up. This sucks, and you make it feel like a universal issue, and it just feels like Samson. Me. I feel like I do a lot of work, so I just would appreciate. I love you. I love you guys. We are a family. Circus is family. What does Circus say? Ba, 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 da, ba, da, ba, I love you.
Yes.
But
Well,
I just-
Samson, I think that's a great thing. I think we could all look at our schedules, and right now I am slammed trying to get this train scheduled a day early because we're going to be in Kalamazoo tomorrow night or in 2 days. But I'm sure everybody else would love to help out. Everybody would love to help out. But I'm going to be nose in the phone book.
I hate the funny name cities.
24 hours.
I cannot lift boxes because I have flippers.
Dale.
Well, yeah. I mean, Flipper Boy. Yeah.
Dale, you're beautiful. Dale, you're beautiful. Don't change a thing. Don't apologize. You're beautiful.
I wasn't apologizing. I'm just I like to state. I like to be very forthright.
Sure. Yes, of course.
I'm proud of my flippers. I mean, I know that in the community, they don't like me calling them flippers. They don't like us still advertising it as a freak show. Somehow they find that offensive, but I am not offended. I stand out, and I'm not going to help move boxes.
That's very
Okay.
So the talent can't be bothered to pack up a box, is what you're saying.
I mean, just I can nudge things. I do a lot with my feet. I can really get around. I'm very capable, but the actual the kind of stuff that Samson is referring to, of the lifting of the cages onto the train cars and stuff. I mean, that's all him, man. Like like you can't even do that, Jenny, right? Really lifting.
Well,
I don't mean to put you in a box.
Maybe I could. What does it entail? Like maybe I could do that. Maybe I could lift these things and put them on top of each other with animals or
Well,
I don't know.
There's some large crates. The tent folds up. All the poles
Right.
need to be
Right.
stacked.
So it's just about, the crates and the folding and the putting things in and the stacking and I mean, how hard could it be?
true. And I just to chime in real quick, I will say it's not that I won't do 99% of the work. So I'll still do this. It's just a thing of like, it's like when if someone hits your car, right? Someone hits your car and then they go, what are we going to do about this? And you go, what are we going to do about this? You're going to give me your insurance. Okay. And I'm going to file a claim. Right. So I just don't want people to say, hey, we're
breaking it down. But are we though? I mean, are you really 90% of this? Like, I mean, if you are, then I think you should just go ahead and be mad and not let us say that we're breaking it down. Right.
Ever since I was a young boy in Copenhagen, the
Oh,
town
geez.
freak.
That's a rough life.
I've learned to not be mad because when Samson gets mad, walls come down, is what my dad used to say. And I can't go to that place anymore. So what I need to do is just try and speak my mind when possible, try and empathize, and try and connect.
And some subtext spinning off your mind too, like a little bit of like darts,
Okay,
I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do 90% of the work. Let's just not call it we, but yes, we do this together.
Okay, I don't think that it was just. I'm just using the royal we. The circus must break down tonight. However you need to define that in your own mind to preserve your feelings, go ahead and do that. The circus must move on tonight.
Yeah.
So whoever's going to lift those things, Samson, are you okay?
If you could just say like, Samson, we know you're going to pack up everything. Just if you could just use my name in any context, in lifting, it would be, I would just feel so much better about the sweat equity that I put into this.
Okay. Well, yeah, I don't know what to tell you. And you've been in the circus now for 10 years. This is just kind of been how it is. And don't break things, please. We don't want to, those are difficult to replace here on the road here. Yeah. And Jenny's going to help. Jenny's going to help.
I mean, just call me Delilah, though.
Delilah.
Yeah.
Hey, and
The
Delilah,
tattooed bearded lady who can fit inside a box will help you. How ironic that she'll be lifting boxes. So are we good to go? We ready to get this rolling? We ready to get the show on for today, and then we'll break down. I think we should get the circus started.
I do want to say one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Delilah, I don't want to speak for you, but it feels like we've put a lot of labels on you. You're the tattooed Oracle escape artist, bearded lady in a box who does, I mean, you have so many, you're like it's like high school superlatives. You won them all. Do you feel overwhelmed? Am I in this alone? How do you feel?
I could take all of that and more. Keep it coming. I'm not overwhelmed. I am overjoyed. My heart is full.
Okay, tell you what, everyone,
I mean,
write down how you would like to be referred to. Okay.
You mean pronouns?
Anything. The sign on your tent, the sign on the thing. Okay, just write it down, and we'll do our best to honor that. Okay. This is all. We can talk about this on the train when we're heading to Kalamazoo. We can have this conversation. Right now, we got a circus to run, and then we got to break things down. Hands in. Here we go.
I think
I'd like to
no one's
break
putting their
down-
hand in.
I feel like we need to break down the
are you trying to
first.
say something to me about hands?
Oh, come on, y'all. Your appendages in.
As a young boy in Copenhagen, every
Oh,
pencil or pen I touched snapped in twain. I was never able to learn to write because my hands were too strong. So to say write it down instead of just speak it aloud feels like it's pointed at me.
Okay, we can find you a stronger pencil, maybe one of those fat kid pencils. I don't know. And Flipper Man, we'll find a utensil appropriate for you as well. All right. I think that we're kind of thin slicing language a little bit here. And I think we're getting hung up on some things. Okay.
I think we should just all go by freak. I think that is.
We need more.
We got to reclaim the word, and me doing it by myself is not really going to just, having freak tattooed on my head. I know it was the start, but I'm really hoping that even you, a ringmaster, will see the freak in you. I don't think Jenny Delilah was born, that's not a real beard, but she's chosen the freak way of life. She's not like me, like Samson there. And I think you could do the same. I think you could be more supportive.
Okay. I have offered to pay for the tattoo to turn that F into a B and put an IN apostrophe at the end, but that's offers on the table if you'd rather be breaking than freak. But I just want you to y'all, this is secondary. This is secondary to the task at hand.
You will all forgive me. I do have to eat my daily 8 roasted chickens. Please continue.
Don't get any grease on your leopard print singlet, please. Okay.
I think where we're stuck here is we're just not finding the right description for dismantling. Breaking down. All of these seem to not celebrate the freak in all of us.
But if we were to line up everybody with hands from, and then who doesn't have hands to who has the biggest hands, we could establish a mean and then a standard deviation of hands. And I mean, I think that's, if you're more than 2 standard deviations away from the norm, I think you're a freak. Okay. I think that's just a fair definition. And
but the freak's the talent, right? I mean, the freak is what brings Akron out.
Wow.
Akron's coming out for the freak to get its freak on.
Ow.
And so instead of excluding the freaks from the hand deviation, maybe we need to think of other tools or other metaphors for what we're doing here, right?
Mark himself said he can't help put the tents away.
Well, but I think it's because he was responding to the breakdown. He can't break it down.
Well, he can put Breakin' on his forehead, and he's a great clapper.
I mean, I would like that. I would let go of the freak identity if I could actually break dance in a competent way. And I think having something tattooed on your forehead is the first step in acquiring a new skill.
I think not having hands would help too. You can just flip around, right? Like, I think you're more than halfway there.
Feels like you're making some assumptions.
Ringmaster, if I may, I don't speak for the freaks, but I speak for this freak. You call yourself Ringmaster, we have to refer to you as Ringmaster. As far as I know, as far as Samson is aware, you have mastered no rings. You have 3 piercings on one ear, which looks fine, I guess, if that's your thing. But I think if we could just call you like Todd, I feel like that would be, that would kind of delineate, draw a line in the sand between the strongman, flipper boy, the Oracle, bearded lady, and then Todd, right?
Or Timmy. How about Timmy? I like Timmy.
Perfect. That's perfect.
You're just picking names for me.
Yeah.
We're trying to pick the right. We're trying to pick the right names.
Timmy's less annoying than Ringmaster.
Okay, then
I like Timmy.
It should be. I mean, he's annoying, so it should be Ringmaster. It should be the more annoying name. I mean, if you want to get a name that actually fits.
But just so everyone knows, I am 63 years old, and I spent 40 years working myself up to Ringmaster, from ring assistant, ring associate.
Take it down a notch, Timmy.
I don't think that's the brag you think it is.
Yeah.
If it takes 40 years for you to make Ringmaster, I don't think that's the achievement that you're looking for. My cousin was Ringmaster in 7 years.
Okay, that was one of those. That was not a true circus. Okay, that was not I'm familiar with this online circus, and I'm not sure if that counts. Okay.
Okay, that's totally fair.
The kids' circus camps also you really can't count because they want to give the kids a sense that they're constantly achieving, and so they keep giving them higher. But you got to sort of put an asterisk after it, because if you're a 12-year-old who is a ringmaster, that's a bullshit. That's not a real ringmaster.
Thank you.
All right. Okay.
Thank you. I have the hat. I have the riding boots. I have the red fox hunting coat. Okay, I have earned this station. Okay, and by the way, we are late to getting the circus open. All right, kids are lining up.
And the train hasn't even left the station. Like, what happened to the train? What happened to the caboose? Where's the boxes? That we've lost the task.
What I could do, okay, I could maybe pick up the train and throw it, and as I throw it, I could try and hop on. I just don't know. It's a bit of a risk because I may not hop high enough. I'm strong, but I'm not. I'm not. Again, jump 20 feet. I could maybe try and throw it and hang on, and that would carry us all the way. I'm up for suggestions.
Okay, the train will be here this afternoon. Okay, that's my job to get the train here. It's your job to lift a barbell with 1 ton written on each round ball. All right, and it's your job to climb inside that box and then pop out with your bearded face. And Mark, it's your job to wear a lobster suit and jump around. And I know it's humiliating, but
I'm not ashamed. I
okay, all right.
Yeah, Mark.
Okay,
yeah, exactly.
Appendages in.
Well, we forgot about the pincers. You got way more than flips going on. Then you got pincers. I didn't realize you had moved on to the lobster man.
It's just something we're experimenting with. I mean, I haven't even gotten the tattoo that says lobster man, so like it's not until you get the tattoo, you're not really serious about it.
Without a name, you're nothing.
Wow. Without a name, you're nothing. Todd, you hear that?
The ringmaster.
I thought it was
ringmaster hood it.
Tim, I'm sorry, Timmy.
Yeah, we'll stop there.
It's fun. Obviously, tattoos are forever. And if you're a tattooed lobster man or Timmy or ringmaster or whatever, Samson, then that's what you are.
Are you all familiar with the lobster man murders?
No.
Oh,
did someone murder lobsters?
So there's a town in Florida, I think it's near Sarasota, where the Ringling Brothers Circus, where they wintered, and a lot of the circus folk just ended up moving there when they retired. And one of the guys had a deformity and was Lobster Man, and he had a son, Lobster Boy, who then went on to join the circus. And there was a love triangle and a murder.
A lobster roll.
Yes. ROLL.
Somebody died, Jenny.
Somebody, yes, someone actually died.
I was
and
stuck on the roll.
I'm not sure. as to
Philosophy
the-
professor makes joke about murder. That's the title of the episode.
yes, murder of a differently
It wasn't
able
a Rick
person. was-
roll. It was an officer. Sorry, go ahead. Just keep going.
Yes, yeah,
I think
yeah.
if we renamed it Rickroll, that would really help to, reclaim it.
So is this now a thing? Is it ongoing?
Oh, it was years ago.
Murders?
It was years ago.
Oh, so it was solved. I mean, obviously you're telling us what happened. So
Yes, yeah, but it was one of these like, wow, this is. I hate to say Florida man, but it was one of those stories.
yeah.
You can Google it and read all about it.
So what did you learn, Adal, about the philosophy of language from that scene?
Wow. I'd like to pass to someone else, please. I'd like someone else to go first, please.
Bill, do you have any guesses? This is our new. We just sort of worked this out recently that we would use the first scene. We would not just say the philosophy up front. We would try to tease it out, and I didn't really help very much. But Jenny was.
I don't know if I did.
Or at least saying things related to language and naming and stuff, and it seemed
Sure,
slightly
well,
relevant.
there's an imprecision, I guess, with language, but then again, language doesn't really exist as a outside of us, so what does a word mean, what does a name mean, what does that mean? It's just like in some ways the arguments, I think, in some ways are a little pedantic or nauseating, because we're literally arguing, what does something that we created mean? There is no third party, there's no appeal to a higher unimpeachable power. We agree what a rock is, we agree what the ocean is, but like, what do words mean? Is that kind of what you're going for? I editorialized a little bit, if that's okay.
What do words mean, man?
Yeah.
Jenny, so this is touching on a bunch of things in philosophy of language. Jenny, tell the thing, just spit it out, what you actually brought in here. And
So
then we can have that.
the thing that I wanted to try to play around with is an essay made famous in the 2000s by Harry Frankfurt called "On Bullshit."
Okay.
One of the it was a paper no one ever read, but then around the GW presidency and John Stewart and all the kind of truthing, all that stuff, they reprinted it into like a book.
Like a common
And-
sense pamphlet.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And I got it. This is like totally just interesting story to me. My ex-husband was a scientist, and they were selling these to scientists to help them fight against the political. Now, this is before the Trump administration. So anyways, I think,
like that you said GW and then you outright just said Trump.
yeah, sorry. Yeah. I mean, but he's Trump. So, but yeah.
And
So
Frankfurt just died a month ago.
yes, he did. He died.
2
He
months ago.
recently
Oh,
died.
okay.
And it's
Yeah, July
funny
16th.
because, for him, I was trying to bullshit a lot. Once I was trying to also insert myself into the insanity of the circus. But yeah, so some of what I think we tossed around had nothing to do with bullshit, like what is a name? So when I made that silly, like, well, when it's tattooed, then, once it's a name, if it's not named, it doesn't exist. That could be a position. But bullshit is when you just start making shit up, which is what people do all the time, rather than say, I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't know.
And this is
what-
supposed to be
What
important.
the right
because
answer is.
it's different than lying. That if you ask,
Yes.
is Trump
Okay.
is Trump a liar? Well, does he care if what he's saying is true or not? That's the definition of bullshit, according to Frankfurt. Is you just don't care
Don't care.
if what you're saying is true. You're saying it for, you have some illocutionary, I think that is the word. In other words, the locution is the actual meaning of what you're saying. But if you have an illocutionary or perlocutionary, these intentions, so it's just, you're trying to accomplish something. You don't actually care what words specifically are coming out of your mouth. It's like if you're yelling at your dog to stop doing that, it doesn't matter if you don't have to be precise in your language to the dog. You just have, you just have to somehow accomplish the task.
Okay. So
What-
there's
Go ahead.
there's an insincerity
Yes.
around it.
Yes.
Even someone who's lying they may not even realize they may be one of those kind of like, I really can talk to ghosts, one of those kind of like, they really believe they can, and I guess in that way they're being sincere when they tell you that there's a ghost in your house.
Or they know there is a truth of the matter, right? So the background of bullshitting is that there are facts, that there are things you can say about the world, that you can describe rocks, you can describe bearded ladies, whatever. But the bullshitter has become part of a world where nobody talks about, like, no one tries to get at the bottom of things and figure out what the facts are. They're just speaking to be heard and to, I don't know, get an audience and to fake their way through something. And but the larger concern that Frankfurt had was, and this was kind of something we accidentally played upon, was that people were turning more on themselves and their identities and their, all of the truth of themselves, while performing in a way where there is no truth, where you just bullshit. You don't care. You don't, like, if you're lying, there's truth. If you're bullshitting, truth is not a thing. It's not a category for you. You don't care about figuring out what the answer is. We know a lot of bullshitters in life. I see a lot of them in the classroom.
And that cult of personality that bullshits almost supersedes fact, to where it's like, if you're so enthralled by someone, you're just like, yes. And then it's like, well, the numbers show, and they're like, no, the numbers are dumb. I don't, like, that's not a thing. This, and just say whatever. And they're like, yeah, he's right. And it's like, what are you talking about? Like,
it's because, it's cult of personality. And you listen to the bullshitter, and the worst part is all the people that get taken in, and the bullshitter is just bullshitting.
Numbers were invented by Arabs.
Oh,
Did you know that? The Arabic numbers.
Yeah.
They weren't, the Greeks did not have numbers. That is true.
Really? The Greeks didn't have numbers?
Where did that come from? It's random. No, they had
Jenny's right.
Rocks. They had like dots that they made, and certain configure, like, that's why if you read some of Plato's dialogues, like I think the Meno, he's having the boy do a geometry problem, but he's just having him draw it. Like, there's no numbers, right? It's like
pure geometry.
Well, and also there's no way, this is random, but there's no way to say what the answer is to the square root of the hypotenuse until you have irrational numbers. So it was mystical. Random off topic, not bullshit. Yes, of course. Kind of interesting.
So Cronus was the god of time. So did they have a time system? Was it just like a
oh my god,
there was numbers, of course, but it's just not the particular symbols that we use for numbers.
They weren't they weren't the Arabic numbers. They weren't numerals. What's the right word? They were like,
I think numerals is right.
Dots.
Okay.
Like rocks.
They had representations of numbers.
Yeah, they had things. They had right. There was,
Pip. That's true.
Maybe they had some other thing. I'm totally now bullshitting. I don't know. I sound like I know what I'm talking about. So
my wife is on a library board, and they're currently trying to find a new director. It's a volunteer position, in the city, and they're trying to find a new director for the library. And there's one person on the staff who didn't come to a bunch of meetings, and is now being recalcitrant, is now being pushing back on all these things. And it's like, well, they're not, their agenda is to just stall and gum things up and try to make the whole system look dysfunctional. So it's an attack on the whole, and then they're sending things via email, which can be FOIA'd by and just all these things. It's like, you're not engaging. Your criticisms of this candidate is not legitimate. You don't care about the criticism. You just want to demonstrate how the library board should be abolished, and there should be a, I don't know, for-profit company who's in charge of finding, I don't know what his agenda is, other than something very, you see, government doesn't work, something very nebulous thing, and of course it's driving my wife and the other board members bananas, Yeah.
So, but the director positions, is the director position itself voluntary, or is the committee voluntary?
The committee is the director is a paid. Yeah,
Okay.
they're like
Because
run
I was
live.
like,
They're 9 to 5.
wow,
Yeah.
that's like fighting over like an unpaid director. Like that
Yeah,
just
yeah.
takes me to new levels of like, whoa, that would,
Oh,
yeah.
no.
I
No,
live in land with no people around me for these reasons. So yeah.
It is a well compensated, fairly compensated position to run a library, to be it for a very large library.
City and have
Yeah.
a lot of, so the deliberation is being hijacked by this guy's bullshit.
Yes, and they should be talking. Well, which
is one of the
yeah.
problems of bullshit, is that it completely prevents the kind of drag out, knockout debates and discussions that we need to get at answers, right?
Just which, we have 3 candidates. Which one do we like? Who should
Right,
we
exactly.
hire?
Okay, let's talk about, yeah, right. Like,
Well-
but nobody wants to say anything, make a claim about reality anymore. They
Yeah.
just go into their own bullshit. So
Yeah. But they have an agenda.
that was a cynical statement on my part. Sorry, go ahead.
So
No,
as,
just they have an agenda for doing it,
Yeah,
which
right.
is outside of the scope of.
Well,
the
sometimes
library
I
board.
think people bullshit and like not like the super famous bullshitters right now running for president. But like some people bullshit because they can't possibly imagine not having something to say on the topic.
Okay.
So they think, well, I just gotta throw, like, I don't know, I gotta enter into this conversation somehow. But this person sounds like they're just trying to, I don't know, like maybe it's like sport, like instead of playing video games, like come home from your job and
so I don't mean to interrupt, but I mean,
derail.
that one guy they've been interviewing him for like, we've been sitting here for like a half an hour now, and he has not come out of the interview. Should we all just leave? Like, are they just hiring him now, or is this? Do you guys have any insight on this hiring process of why this would be taking so long for that one guy?
Yeah, I don't know what's happened. The interview has been going on far too long. I don't know.
How long? Longer than a half an hour?
90 minutes.
Mm.
The candidate has been in that room for 90 minutes talking to the board.
I mean, did you guys have like, they just told that this was supposed to be just an open call. I mean, I don't have a 3:30 appointment such that I was supposed to wait for 90 minutes for this guy. I thought it was just going to be kind of it's just like a retail job. They should just talk to us for like 10 minutes. All the past interviews that have gone on, none of which have gotten me a job, obviously, or I wouldn't be here, have lasted this long.
Yeah. Okay. Look, let's just slow down. All right. They invite candidates. Okay. The candidates speak with Miss Wilton first. Then they speak with Mr. Gordon. And then they're in with Mr. Gordon right now. And then they come and speak with us, just who will be their immediate underlings. Right. And they want to get our opinion, which is great. But why is this candidate? All the other candidates have blown through the first 2 interviews very quickly and then speak to us. And I thought they were fine. So why is this person still in with Mr. Gordon after 90 minutes?
Do we think something's wrong? Should we go in there?
Something's either terribly wrong or terribly right, which means
Oh,
something
yeah.
could be wrong.
Yeah, maybe they hit it off on a personal level and it's just like a deep connection. Like when
Golf.
you,
They're talking football.
Golf. Yeah. Golf. Yeah. Oh, damn.
I mean, I could have talked about golf. I thought I was going to be on the other side. I'm supposed to have an interview for this position, but here I'm the underling that I'm supposed to like interview somebody who's going to be over me. I should be interviewing for the position myself.
Internal hires have their own thing, their own process. Okay.
It's just when I asked I could do it, they're just like, no. They're like, obviously, I mean, you are only in here like 10 hours a week,
Mark,
and you leave
Mark
early,
Hey, Mark.
and you arrive late.
Mark,
And
Hey,
for
Mark.
some reason,
Hey,
that
Mark.
disqualifies me.
Mark,
Hey, Mark.
there's a mystery afoot. Okay. And we got to figure this out, because if a crime is being committed behind that door and we do nothing, we are just as guilty. Okay.
We're
If a
complicit.
ritual-
We're complicit.
We're complicit.
How long did the other candidates sit with Gordon?
20 minutes tops.
20 minutes tops. And what about Wilton?
20 minutes again. They met with her, got their paperwork filled out, and now and then they're supposed to move on to us. And they haven't. This guy hasn't, or girl, or person. I don't know. I don't even know who's in there.
Oh, maybe it's like a cute dog.
Oh my gosh. Are they going to hire a
Imagine.
dog to be our
Oh
boss?
man, actually, there was a town that they made dog mayor. You hear about this? You read this?
Oh my gosh.
Oh man.
No, but I totally believe you. I did not hear about it, but it's I could see that happening.
Yeah.
But how do we pay the dog?
Scritches, treats.
Treats, belly rubs. I don't know.
That's like breaking the union rules. I mean,
What about
I demand a decent ways, and if they're going to give some dog who's just going to get treats, am I supposed to get treats in order to go up in the ladder?
Mark, we got a major problem here. All
But
right.
how does the dog reward me?
I mean, here's some facts for you, huh?
Lay it out.
You have a dog. If you are around a dog for 1 year, you live 5 years longer. And that's just facts. I mean, that you can't make that up. Okay. Also, the most loyal creature around. There's a dog statue in Tokyo of a Shiba Inu. And the reason they made a statue of a Shiba Inu is because even after this guy's owner died, he showed up to the train station for 40 some years. You can't make that up.
No.
But they can't go to the bathroom on their own.
No.
What kind of boss do you want? Do you want a loyal boss?
Yeah,
Or do you want a disloyal boss?
Yeah,
Huh?
exactly.
I want a loyal boss. Who
There we
can
go. Okay.
Relieve themselves appropriately,
So
not on the carpet. I mean,
we
just
okay, if we find a human who's loyal but has a urinary incapacity,
That's one of the
Then
reasons
they
they
can't
told
be
me I
our
couldn't that I couldn't apply to this job because of my urinary incapacity.
your coloscopy.
I mean, it's mostly just carelessness, frankly, and the fact that I'm usually drunk. But I thought that my performance as a charming person should just override that.
look, we have three options right now. Option one, we call the police. We straight up call the police, okay?
Yeah.
Option two, one of us pounds on that door and demands to know what's going on.
Ooh,
Option three, we get out of town, burn our IDs, and just go underground. That I see no other option.
Yeah. Agreed. I mean,
But we have a digital footprint.
mm,
Gordon, of all people, knows how to find, even if we burn our IDs, Gordon, that's his thing, man. That's why I think he's
we
got
are
a dog
boned.
in there.
I
We
know
are
he's like
boned.
spying on my Facebook just because I post pictures of myself urinating on various parts of the street in town. They're like, that disqualifies you from something, and I'm like, that's my business. What I post on Facebook is a private thing for me and my friends and friends of friends. That's the way I set the security.
I mean, it could also be in that book burning that you were, live feeding like 2 weeks ago. I mean,
that's just to have something to
I
urinate
mean,
on.
there's the urination problem
Fires are
with
the best place to urinate, without question. I mean, if a dog knows that, then I would respect it. But dogs, they don't go to fires to urinate. They just fire hydrants. The symbol of putting out the fires. The fires is where it's at.
I think Gordon was at that fire. I think that's why we got to think about leaving town.
I mean, did Gordon come in today? was he
Like, is he even in there?
Wow.
okay. Wow. Okay. Here's what I'm going to do. Somebody stop me if you don't want me to. I'm going to just blurt out every dog name I can possibly think of. And if you hear a whinny or a whine or a bark or a sniff or a scratch, we have our answer.
Yeah.
Cookie, Oreo, Tuxedo, Malmut, Topography, Forest, Charlie, Matty Matt.
I heard something. Maddie,
Oh,
what?
Matty Matt.
Critical race theory.
Okay, I think I'm not sure. I'm not sure. It could have been a pen dropping. Could have been a dog scratching. Okay.
Wow.
It could have been a human getting in and out of a dog costume.
What if it's
Oh,
a
it's a
gay
sex
Disney
thing.
character? It might be a gay Disney character that's behind the door. Like one of those, what is it, like Coco or
You can't say one
or-
of those.
one of those Disney movies that with
don't put them in a category of Disney
Wow.
gay dogs.
or like, like or going back to Copenhagen, like Little Mermaid. That
Oh, yeah.
wouldn't look that's not a Danish mermaid. Like, I'm sorry. Maybe that's what's going on. Like,
Copenhagen. Why going back to
because
Copenhagen?
Samson's from, well,
Wow.
What are you talking about?
on the streets of
Interesting.
Copenhagen.
Do you have some
he grew
insight?
up.
Do you have some insight of who's behind the door and what's the hiring process?
Oh,
No, I thought we were going with this. Like, I don't know if it's
Jenny?
a dog. It occurred to me it could be like a woke Disney character.
Okay.
Like, that's a way for Gordon to blow this all up.
And what's the
hey
most-
everybody, it's me,
oh,
Jim
oh,
Gordon.
Hey.
I got the candidate in there right now. We went ahead and broke early for lunch, and we're actually going to finish up this interview in a second here. But just with scheduling and things, they got to catch a flight. So they went ahead and had early lunch, and they'll be in to meet with you in about 10-15 minutes. Thanks, y'all. Click.
Forehead covered in
Today.
sweat.
Today.
All
So
right,
they-
I'm just gonna piss in the corner.
Did that just happen? Did that just happen?
Oh my god.
All right, but
Wow.
Gordon's agenda.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe break for lunch is like code.
Yeah.
It's like an S&M thing. Break for lunch. You know what I'm saying?
Start drinking.
Totally. I would
Not
never
if-
do it,
I
but I've
mean,
heard people
I
that
only
do do
have
it.
flippers, so like,
Hey, we never said it, Jenny. We accept you as you are. We never. A colostomy bag is way more noticeable, if I could just say it. And when Mark gets drunk, he picks it up and plays it like a little guitar and stuff. So
I mean, I feel like we could solve the dog problem. We just
I'm just
attach one of those bags.
I'm
But
never getting a promotion.
well, I don't know. I mean, we gotta circle the wagon here. What are we gonna say to they
Yeah.
or it?
We need to set a trap for them. We're going to set a trap.
yes, yes.
What we learn? We learned they had lunch.
Yeah.
Something about an early flight. Okay.
If I may, a lot of traps you see them coming, right? But if a lobster, think of a lobster trap. It just nestles at the bottom of and then the lobster walks in, right? It looks like it looks like it's environment, and then it just shuts the door.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's lobster roll, baby.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right, so
Just like that Alaska crab show. I've seen a ton of.
Oh yeah, most dangerous job, right?
Most dangerous job, Alaska crab show. Yep. Seen a ton of those.
Yeah,
we
that's
just
exactly
make
how it
the
works.
room the trap.
Yes.
It's just the whole room.
Yeah.
And then
It's like
when
Blazing
they or
Saddles.
it comes in, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
We're just like lobsters in the boiling pot.
Are you
I
drinking,
Right.
Mark?
don't even-
So
Have
we
you been
start,
drinking?
we start
don't even
slowly
know.
More
turning
drunk
up
poetry.
the temperature, the room's temperature. Slow
We'll stop right there. We'll
boil.
stop. Okay, that's it. We're done. We did it. Scene over.
I thought pissing in the corner meant that the scene should stop, but it just kept going.
Imagine a colostomy bag full of Mountain Dew Code Red.
Just freaking people out. Oh my gosh. What is Are you okay? Yeah, I have a colostomy. What's the big deal? Well, I know. That's not what I meant. It is red and fizzing. Is that normal? I've never seen.
So we're of course running into the issue that it's hard to depict or run too far with bullshitting in an improv scene where all of improv is bullshitting, right? Or is there
Wow.
something about
Wow.
special non-bullshitting improv that Bill is the king of like staying coherent? I don't know. It's because bullshitting doesn't mean incoherence. It doesn't mean getting
No.
drunk and saying random things. Adal was
Okay.
doing the braggadocious or the thinking of dog stories, and like that was a good kind of Cliff Clavin bullshitting explicit
Yes,
kind
I
of
was
thing.
totally thinking of Cliff Clavin. So funny. Okay. Oh, we're old.
Yeah, I don't know if inherently all improv is bullshitting. It feels more like and this may sound silly, but like channeling, because I don't know. It doesn't feel like there's a goal to like trick anyone. It's just a matter of like I'm picking up on this frequency and I'm channeling this thing in this moment. There definitely are. I mean, just to speak to like my experience as a fan of Bill's and watching his team 3033, you see people like Bill, who it's like they can sort of wield the energy and have that sort of control of everything. And then you see someone like
Mark.
and Andy, I was going to say Andy, I can't remember his last name.
St. Clair.
Real tall, Andy St. Clair, who's just chaotic in terms of like the way he improvises is just like lightning in terms of like I'm almost trying to knock down this house of cards that Bill made. So it feels like even that, I don't know if it's bullshitting versus just like trying to channel whatever's in the ether.
Sure.
Just as like a weather vane to like just let the I keep using weather references, but just trying to kind of sort of feel the room and figure out the energy of it. But yeah, again, I don't believe personally that improv would be bullshitting. You are making things up, but at the same time, you're playing someone who absolutely could be real sometimes. I mean, maybe not my case a lot of time, but that is, I guess, ultimately the goal is to mimic everyday life.
I mean, you just raised a point that made me think as a philosopher, which is because improv to me is also like humor. Like for me, like what I like about it is the specific way it uses humor to illuminate certain issues. And I wonder if you can actually be funny if all you do is bullshit. Like it would be a really lame funny, right? It would be like a Trump funny, like, oh, really? This guy, it's never like any like surprising new way of looking at something that I think improv or humor can do. But I mean, this is like the second time I've ever tried doing improv. And for me, the hard part, which seems the opposite of bullshit, is committing. Like you completely have to commit. You have to sort of like, okay, where are we going with this? And like jump in. And I think like people that bullshit aren't committed to anything.
I was particularly trying to be provocative, given that we keep referring to truth in comedy. And no, I don't mean in the scene. I mean in characterizing improv as bullshitting. I know I was going to get some pushback on that, but I'm trying to figure out what the lesson was.
You can highlight the bullshitter through an improv thing, right? Like you can.
As Bill is looking like Jenny has stumbled on something.
Yay! I like being a good student. What is it?
What is the improv lesson? Or
what the improv lesson was, especially when we start adding numbers of actors, was to try to limit the numbers of points of view. I know this is something that's probably come up with Mark and I at some point, but this idea that what makes a conversation difficult would be a meeting where everyone has their own agenda and everyone has their own thing that they're pushing. As opposed to in this scene, what I wanted to demonstrate was, especially for a good chunk of that, the three of us, Adal and Jen and I are all kind of pushing in the same direction. We had the same agenda, and Mark was being selfish, and we had fun ignoring him. But it was
selfish or
but we've all been in unproductive meetings. We've all been in meetings, and I think when we're talking about these disruptive people. The disruption is that they're not paying attention to what's going on. They're not on board, talking about, improv. It's like, well, everyone's on board, and even if you have a different point of view, we're still on board. But then the discussion at hand, what's going on in that room, we have to engage in that discussion. And even if what we're saying is ridiculous, and Adal's mentioning ill-cited television programs or grocery store newspaper headlines, we still believe it, and that's fine, and we're all pushing in the same direction. If that makes it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
As actors, we're pushing. Our characters are ridiculous, but as actors, we are all pushing.
But you're a team. You're achieving a goal instead of Whereas the setup is somebody who refuses to like
engage,
give in any way to resolving something and like, okay.
Yeah. Well, I know in my improv, I'm generally trying to fill in the pieces of some puzzle. And in this case, it was because I thought I had set up the scenario that we are all waiting to be interviewed for a job. And someone else that's in front of us in this open casting call has been in there for a long time. And then Bill spun it around. No, we're actually the panel that is waiting for the person to come out so we can interview them. And so I was like, why would a character be just confused. And so the rest of my acting like a jackass was just, I thought I was supposed to be up for this job, but now I'm, in the position that you said. And so what does that mean for the person?
Well, that was a classic Bill move you just experienced. It's like, you got 3 lines for it to make sense. If it doesn't make sense to me, I'm going to define it aggressively.
You've been Arnetted.
Yeah.
I like it.
So at first I thought that's what you might be going for, Mark, but there was, for some reason, other people weren't biting, or it didn't land for whatever reason. I was like, all right, well, I'm going in hot, cover me. I'm just going to find the thing.
Any thoughts, Adal, about setting up a scene? I mean, I've mostly heard you in Magic Tavern and things, or in the Riddle podcast, where it's lightning fast. This is the premise to the thing. It doesn't take, in that sense, 3 lines to establish something. And in Magic Tavern, like, it's an ongoing, like, it's already established for the most part.
Sorry, what was your question?
Sorry. Did you have any thoughts to supplement Bill's on techniques for establishing where the hell are we and what are we doing?
Yeah, I mean, I think anytime you can use like a we statement of like, wow, we've been waiting to be interviewed for so long, or whatever that is, I think just out of the gate setting an environment as clear as possible is probably the best move. I think they always say, or at least the teachers I've had in improv has always said, like, whenever you come out into the scene, within 5 to 10 seconds, you have to make almost a promise to the audience of what's going on. So if you say like, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Wrongling Brothers Circus, you can't then be like, 10 seconds later, be like, so that's what I was saying to this lady. Anyway, I'm the president and I'm about to go into the Oval Office for lunch. Like, you have to be like, no, you're a ringmaster and you gave that speech, and now we're going to see whatever else there is in this environment. I mean, just to really pull back the curtain and show the old man behind it. I truly up top was so focused on, we went into a scene, and then I was like, is this the scene where, because Bill had chatted me a thing, and I was like, I don't know if this is supposed to be the scene where I try and steer towards that or what. So I think I was so focused on the prescribed goal that I was like, I don't know how to enter. I don't want to enter the scene until I know what I'm supposed to be doing, because I could really muck it up if I put my foot out there before I know what the intention is at the moment. So that was my reasoning for really hanging back up until the 11th hour.
Well, I also feel like I've just grown impatient to get to the improv in some of these episodes. And so I will just, instead of saying, now we're starting a scene, I will just go, perhaps disregarding some necessary setup for your lesson.
I think that the way I always approach it is either like me or we. So it's like so if it's the 4 of us, I would start a scene by saying like, I can't believe my food has taken an hour and a half. Like, I think we should leave this Applebee's. And then you 3 can have whatever goal you want. Or you can start the scene by saying, we've been waiting an hour and a half for our food. Should we just go eat somewhere else? And that's lumping us all into the same situation. So that's how, that's just a way that I think about it, in terms of like, do I want myself to be sort of the one being affected and be the odd man out, perhaps, unless the other people join in on that? Or do I want to sort of rope everyone cattle dog style and say, we're all experiencing this, right?
Yeah.
Why are you lying, Adal? We're not in Applebee's at all. It's a no and.
Yeah.
A German Applebee's?
Yeah.
I was trying to do The Room. For some reason, Jenny saying The Room is the trap almost
Tommy
got me
Wiseau.
on a Tommy Wiseau.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Well, that whole idea that, in most funny scenes, even sketches and whatnot, there's one core absurdity. There's something in the most liberal sense of the word, absurdity, so something that doesn't fit, something that doesn't match, something that isn't right. And it's this whole notion of, where do we put that? And I think, Adal, that's a great way of thinking about it. Me or we, this absurdity is going to be somewhere, and we do have control over where it goes and how we play it, and that's not necessarily a trivial thing. especially if it's a great way to change up the energy or pace of a scene. If you had a bunch of scenes where it's I'm the problem, I'm the problem, I'm the problem, maybe we need we're all the problem, or we're all on the same page, as a way of kind of changing the energy. And there certainly are TV shows and things that I think demonstrate, crazy people in a crazy world, or sane people in a crazy world. Find examples at your leisure.
Young ones.
There we go. Yes. Yeah, I don't know. The voice of reason in that show was like the audience. Just like, I can't believe this is happening. Everyone is just on the same side of the absurdity. Yeah.
I'll also say, just in terms of the me versus we, I think that's my mentality when I go into group scenes. If it's a two-person scene, I think it's like there's way more paths. We don't have to Robert Frost it with the we and me. I think we Somerset mom it, baby. We can have any sort of direction we want. But I think with group scenes specifically, you can't sustain more than X amount of point of views, or it sort of collapses under the weight of all that.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking of that Young Ones episode written by Somerset Mom. I don't think that was a thing. Sorry, Jenny. What were you about to say to help us wrap this up?
I don't know.
Did I say Somerset Mom wrote an episode of Young Ones?
I'm saying that.
You said it, and then you go, I don't think that was a thing. And I was like, is he accusing me of lying? I didn't say it.
I don't know why you keep bringing up Somerset Mom's Young Ones whole repertoire, and he was just obsessed with it. He had all these badges. He had like the tattoo.
So did Frankfurt have any resolutions or any tools to fight back, or answers, or just be on the lookout?
I think he wanted to call out bullshit as bullshit, right? Like,
just call it out.
So it didn't work, right? I mean, we live in a world now where people use alternative facts or, whatever, non-facts, or, I mean, I think he, like a lot of philosophers, just wanted hold on to truth seeking as the main function of philosophy. And he was pushing back at the time against totally different things within the world of philosophy. I think that were more about the postmodern self and authenticity and existentialism stuff. But his goal really was to have us call bullshit when it's happening and not do it, not engage in it, because it erodes a shared world of truth. I don't know if that's the right way to put it, but
it's certainly relevant for today.
Yeah, it's extremely relevant
headlines.
Because so much of the outrage and the shock and the occasions to be canceled, whatever it is, are all manufactured bullshit. And they're just keeping our eyes away from like real things, I guess. So
well, the defenses in the press of, in court cases of people in the media that you can't accuse this person of slander or something because everybody knows what they're doing is entertainment and it is not to be taken at face value.
I want that. I want that philosophy professor.
That has been used multiple times in court cases recently.
You can't take me seriously. I argue with everyone.
Yeah. You're the fool for thinking I was serious when I said,
like, who cares what I say? I don't know. Yeah.
This is not really contributing to the discussion, so my apologies, but I'm really fascinated by the type of person who seems to be celebrated, who I think in their own mind palace, they think in their own little world, they think that they're calling out bullshit. So they'll be like, those pants look awful on you. And they're like, oh man, Jeff really calls it like he sees it. Like he really cuts through the bullshit. And I'm like, I think this guy just sucks.
I think it is bullshit.
Yeah, but
he just lathers it on.
Yeah, exactly. Where it's like, I think he's bullshit, but it's this thing of like almost calling out, like almost projecting onto someone else something before maybe you're seen through. I don't know. Like I always say, if I were to ever go back in time, so say I went back to like medieval times, I would immediately find the weirdest looking person, like in terms of like how they're dressed or something, how they carry themselves. And I would immediately point at them and be like, time traveler, that person's a time traveler, get them. And then be like, phew, I've bought myself a few weeks. So I think it's that kind of mentality of like, but everyone celebrates it as they shoot from the hip. They speak their truth. They
say it like it is.
Exactly. And I think it's a terrible quality to like elevate and celebrate.
Honestly, that's genius. Yeah.
when you start getting people who are like, well, if my identity is saying it like it is, I guess I have to continue saying it like it is, just in order to maintain me, my sense of self, or other people's. I'm sure celebrities get, almost like social typecasting, that like, well, this is who you are. You're the say it like it is guy. Well, I guess I gotta keep doing it. Oh, fine, whatever. Hey, fatty, how's it going? Oh, like, do you even mean it? Yeah. Do you even mean it anymore when you say it like it is? It has become so dispassionate. You're
Billy Eichner.
Yeah.
You're starting to make me see though that like the people that appropriate this identity of saying it like it is never say anything. Like,
well,
they don't like,
they make people fearful.
They're shocking. They just want to be this shock and awe person. I don't know.
Because whenever I hear a criticism of people, I immediately try to figure out how it applies to myself. That that the whole partially examined life brand and whatever, that it has to do with,
you have nothing to say.
I don't actually have to know the things, because it's about phenomenology. It's about telling you my experience of how I see it right now. I understand that I'm ill-informed, but I'm just going to tell you how I see it with humility about myself. And, so I'm a straight shooter, but it only shoots this far.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is humility in there? So like, is that really fun?
Well, that might be the bullshit part of it, is that it's a faux form of humility.
God, this could be endless, like the person who's like, I want to be humble, and they're really just bullshitting. Like,
all the sincerity and humility of like a theater kid who got the lead role. Oh my gosh, I'm so humbled by this. I mean, what an opportunity.
They've already practiced though. Like,
and did you get anything? You didn't get cast? Oh no, but I'm so sincere, because listen to the tone and cadence of my voice. And then they launch into Rent.
Yeah.
Oh
and when I'm up there on the stage, yeah. If you don't have that spotlight on me, I don't shine.
I was a theater major, so all the theater parties I went to was just everyone belting Rent, and I was like, I don't know what to do here.
Oh my God.
I feel like that was.
Why'd I hang out with philosophers? They sucked.
That was a
way more fun.
A bonding experience with my daughter when she was in high school theater, is that I felt I would never normally be catty about children, about my daughter's peers, but like, you should have gotten the lead in that musical. That person who got the lead sucked. And she, I don't know what. It's not like I'm calling it like I see it to their faces. But
I don't know if, and I don't mean to draw lines between sexes here, but I've only heard this phenomenon anecdotally from other guys, and I'm curious, Jennifer, if you can correct this. But there's this.
I play a guy on TV.
Oh, there we go. But there have been multiple people in my life, particularly late elementary into junior high, into high school, who just lie, who just make up stories that are on their face unbelievable. And it was like, as a kid, it's like, well, I got all the GI Joes for Christmas. It's pretty cool. You guys can come. And just like, and there's even like characters on television show. There's a guy on like the Venture Brothers who just lie. Well, I got karate practice after this, and then I've got ninja class, so I'm busy tonight. Just like easily debunkable lies. And maybe this is more of a psychology kind of thing, but like, have you all met this person? Is it just me? Oh, you have. Okay, good.
I don't think it's just men. Like,
okay, so that's fair.
I'm afraid to say this because my daughter will probably watch this, but sometimes what I like to say, what my daughter does when a friend of mine tells me something that she's exclaimed that she can do, is that I say, well, that was an aspirational like comment on her part. No, she can't play guitar. I know that she told you that, but
okay, yeah.
Like, there's definitely that kind of just lying because you're trying to fit in and be cool, or like, bond with whatever people are saying, which is a little bit like what you were describing. And I think that knows no gender. That is non-binary, non-binary. But I think that maybe what people lie about may have gender dimensions. So the examples you gave are all about like demonstrating how tough and cool and
Yeah.
manly, right? And I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, gendered behavior is complicated. Now that I'm
It's a
like
whole
starting
thing.
to go there, and women lying, it's like, I don't know if you want to.
Yeah.
I got
That-
all the GI Joes. This makes me
That
the
gets
equivalent of GI
super.
Joes.
There's some
man.
serious experts at that, and it's very stressful. Like
But
it's
there was-
not as overt.
I have
Was
so
a
many
guy at,
GI
like-
Joes.
yeah.
I'm the anima of
Right.
GI Joes. It's
There was a guy at Boy Scout camp who would just talk about his conquests with his girlfriend that were just like, we all knew that wasn't, and we're like 13 and he's like 15, but we all knew they were wrong, but we didn't stop him. We it's not like we wanted them
Yeah.
to be true for him. We just kind of
Yeah.
let these stories go on, and they were total BS. And there was, at no point did any of us believe. We even said it later. You're like, he was just making stuff up, right? Yeah, but it's kind of cool though, isn't it? And it's like we kind of let it happen. And I wonder if there's the BSers dividend is that like maybe someone
They keep getting promoted.
like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we like
They-
that. We're
like,
okay
one-
with that.
Once
It
upon
almost
a
feels
time,
special.
it was just a kid at a camp, and then next thing you know,
President.
CEO, president. Yes.
It almost feels
I
like
am-
watching too much like movies or something where it's like I saw Porky's and I think this is how my night's supposed anyone who hasn't seen Porky's, don't watch Porky's. Terrible reference.
I
but it's
can't
that
believe
thing
I
of,
haven't
like-
seen that since the 80s.
It's the thing of like, oh, I think this is how my night was supposed to go and it didn't go that way, so but I better make up something because that
Yeah.
was exciting and thrilling and whatever. And so I had several people in my grade school who would claim, not several people, maybe three, now I'm doing it, I was being hyperbolic. There's three people who would claim to be related to celebrities based on their last name. So there's someone with the last name Cruz spelled differently and be like, yeah, my cousin. And I feel like nowadays you could easily probably look that up and just be like, bop, 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 bop. Nope, that's not a thing. But when I was a kid, it was just like, I guess I have to not believe you, but I have to like go along with it because
Yeah.
I don't have proof against you, and I'm not gonna spend the energy to like build a case against your bullshit. But I don't know. It's Bill, I think there's absolutely those people all
Good.
around us. Yeah,
All around. Okay, good.
all around.
they're called
yeah.
teachers.
Wow. Wow.
Oh, that's frightening.
Let's enter our
God.
final phase here where we decide I'm gonna have to. I think that no, I don't want to be first. Adal, which was the most in your mind?
Always Adal first. Sorry, what was the question?
Philosophy or improv? Which one wins the day? Put in your vote
Mhm.
Boy, oh boy.
and justify it.
Yeah,
Oh, that's being philosophical.
yeah. Okay.
Don't bullshit, man.
Yeah. You know what? I think for this episode, I think the philosophy of like the bullshitting really sort of made me stop and think, and it's going to stick with me for a little bit. So I think today philosophy, I wouldn't say it wins. I'd say it's
You did say it wins.
I
Jenny,
would
what's
say, I
your
would say
vote?
it wins, but I think the I think with Jenny, was it that you who brought it up to begin with, the art of bullshitting and all that. I think that's definitely gonna sit with me and make me be thoughtful about the bullshit around me and how I can shoot from the hip and really tell it like it is.
Yeah, it's an instruction manual. That book is. Yes.
Exactly.
Jenny,
How
any
to get-
further thoughts? Do you concur? Do you dissent?
Me?
Yes.
I mean, so I have never taken an improv class. I've never tried to do this. And every time, now it's twice, I'm being exaggerating here. The two times I've done this, I just see the power in improv. Like, I wish I would have done, maybe it's not too late. Because even though like the lesson, I'm glad that like bullshit's, like a concept in the world that can like make your head spin around and think about something. It's way more fun to be talking about I don't know, urinating in the corner and
My favorite
Walton
REM song, by
That's pee in the corner.
yeah, that's
Oh,
That's
boo,
me.
boo.
with the colostomy bag, losing my. Never mind. So I think I don't know. Maybe for me it was fun to do the improv. I got caught off guard in the second one. I started getting into like professor mode, so it was fun to kind of reel it back in, and that was exciting for me. And I think every time I would do this, I come away thinking, why don't I do this in my class? Why don't I just throw a situation to my students to work out the text? I don't know if it would work, but I think improv won for me. But then maybe the key thing here is that improv's only as good as the content. So, improv needs content.
Okay.
Maybe not. That's a philosopher's distinction. But I feel like what I get drawn into if I see anything like that, I mean, I mostly just see stand-up comedians, but is I like what they're saying, like the message that they're giving, whether they're doing so by, like if it's a scene that everyone's creating at the moment, or they've got a bit. So
if you ever want to see the most fascinating bullshit you'll ever see in your life,
oh please, yes,
and it's a stand-up, Theo Vaughn. I've seen clips of his. All he does is like someone will say something, someone will be like, yeah, my dad got a new Cadillac, and he'd be like, oh yeah, I went to the Cadillac factory one time and I got stuck under the car, and they said they might have to cut off my legs, and they didn't. And it's like, every single second of him talking is that.
It's like he'll come back to some random, like he's ADD comic.
He truly just makes up stories, and everyone just goes, I guess. Like it's exactly what Bill was talking about. Stand-up comedian Theo Vaughn.
All right.
For
Google.
some reason, yeah, I've had some clips of his pop up in my TikTok, and it's just it's fascinating how his brain will just be like, yeah, me as well. Whatever you said, that's also me, but to an extreme. Like it's dangerous. Yeah.
And he looks like Timothy Oliphant's younger clone.
Oh.
Yes.
Is what Google is telling me. So
could easily be a character in Justified season 2.
Bill, do you have?
I've not seen that show. Is that a good one? I'm running out of shows.
Season 2 is amazing.
Oh, okay. To get to the first one.
Subsequent seasons are entertaining, but Mary Steenburgen is good.
Bill, any final thoughts?
Philosophy won. Are you kidding? Philosophy so won. It's just so
really
totally won.
I guess
totally
I was going to vote for improv, but I wouldn't vote for your improv lesson in particular. I think the spirit of improv, filling the discussion and shaping it.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
But the particular thing about narrowing viewpoints, that's I'll try to keep that in mind, but I don't think that was what I found most effective about the improv. I think I'm sort of with Jenny that this is really fun, and I'm glad I get to do this. And thank you both, you guests and Bill, for coming and making this a party. We let it go a little long because it seemed like you guys were just finally getting to know each other and able to chat freely.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I will absolutely take that L on my shoulders, because unlike Samson, I did not carry my weight in the lesson because I was on my heels, not understanding a few things that was going on. So I absolutely let down my side.
Well, I let down because I set up the Delilah joke that never came to be. Like when I wanted to be Delilah, there had to be the cutting of your hair off at some point, and we never got there. So
next time.
I did not make the connection between Samson and
that's
Delilah.
why I went there, and you're calling me the bearded lady, and I'm like, I'll work. That'll work. We'll go with that. But if he's like the strong man, I got to be the one who like takes it away.
I was more just like, what makes a Jenny become a Delilah?
A Delilah.
It just
could be that she's
there's a poignant story.
Cigar smoking bearded lady in a box. That's what makes her a Delilah. With, I don't know, menthols.
All right. Thanks, everybody. So long.
Thanks everybody
for inviting me.
Thank
this
you.
was a blast.
Super fun, everybody.
Bye.
I should sell my soul. Bankrupt.
We might be coming to your town with the circus.
Hey, we're now.
Did I make it?
Oh, we lost Jennifer.
That's fine. I did not say there was an after talk or anything, and we've gone very long here. So
yeah.
Thanks, Adal. Did you have any further
plugs
on yes, we can. Hey, this is the after talk if you want. Okay, so now is there anything else you wanted to plug right now?
Hey, hello from the Magic Tavern. Hey, Riddle. World News Tonight at IO Theater.
Is it back on a weekly since when IO came back? It came back immediately.
Yeah. It's Saturday nights at 8 p.m.
in Chicago.
In Chicago. Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Bill.
Well, that's more likely that I could do that rather than a Wednesday. A Wednesday. How's your show going, Bill? Is that a
Oh, it's
weekly-
going fine on Wednesdays. Yes, it's going fine. I hope to leverage some other evenings here, but it's the Wild West right now. There's just so many theaters and so many teams and so much. There isn't much. There's good things about the Wild West, you know what I'm saying? But then it's also pretty unpredictable at times. And Adal's got he and his crew, very talented crew, have staked out a good night and a good slot. But there's only so many of those to go around. I'll get back on that. I'll get it going, Mark. I'll get it going.
All right. Well, sometime this fall, I'm coming down from Madison to Chicago.
Yeah.
I will see one of your shows, maybe with the other one. How about Adal? Will you go with me to a Bill Wednesday show?
I will not commit to that on air. Hey, here's what I'll say. I'd like to, but I'm not foolish enough to make a verbal contract.
Wow.
It's
Wow.
just the sentiment I was
I will-
looking for. It was
I will
just-
say that was no slight against Bill. That's just based on my schedule. I will say outright, Bill is one of my favorite improvisers, and I think he's a genius. So
Thanks, man. Thanks.
Any show I could catch of Bill's, I absolutely would when possible.
I'm trying to make public declarations to then get myself to do things. There was a band, the Smoking Popes from Chicago. Are you aware of that band?
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
they were famous for a cover of the Willy Wonka song, right? That was what they were famous for, right? Come with me and jump in.
Oh, maybe
Your
that-
imagination or something.
Is that right? Is that them? That might make sense. I had interviewed the guy for my music podcast, and they just came up. They were here last Sunday in Madison at an 8:00 show. I mean, that's the opening band, and they're gonna go on at 9:30. And so I was ready for like months. I had this on my calendar, and I'm gonna make it. And of course, when it came down to it, like I don't want to leave the house. I'm an old person.
What's that, Mark? What's that?
I don't want to leave the house. It's too hard.
Truly, since the pandemic, like I'll be on the couch and the mailman will come, and I'll be like to my wife, I'll be like, Gemma, can you get the mail? She'll be like, can't you grab it? I'm like, like it's we are real homebodies now.
Yeah.
It's almost like you're not seeing the world. You're not gathering the material for the art.
Well, I'm either at home or I'm traveling abroad, so it's
Okay.
it's feast or famine.
There we go.
Yeah.
Had you recommended to me, Bill, the John Wilson TV show, the How To? That is,
No, is someone recommend it to you? Do you want to make that? Would you like? Have you enjoying it? Is it good?
I have been imbibing it, and this is a guy that just constantly has a camera on him in New York City, being outside, and so just getting to see and capture crazy shit constantly.
Yeah.
And catalogs it very carefully, such that there's so many edits in any given narrative that he'll just every little comment has a funny visual to show one sequence that was just all illustrated by people's vanity license plates. Like it was this whole 4-minute long thing that he had somehow collected enough footage of, and I'm just thinking the number of times I get out of the house and actually see anything new that would be worth noting, it's just so small compared to someone who lives in an urban area and has a social life.
Yeah.
But I don't know. You guys are the Chicago guys. It's the big Chicago.
We got activities every day. Every night there's something going on,
We're just regular people with packed schedules and an embarrassment of riches. Hey, you have New Glarus. That's cool. Spotted cow, dude. Thumbs up.
Huh?
We have, I don't know, 17 sports teams or something. It's sorry, Paul McCartney's walking by. Hey, good sound check, buddy. What was I saying?
I guess you're not in New York or LA, so you're kind of nowhere.
Wow.
I do recall us getting PL, somebody from New York or something, and referring to like, us as living in hick towns or something. Like, I'm in Madison, Wisconsin. I guess compared to New York, I guess compared to the cultural capitals of the world, but.
Well, what's funny to me is I go to New York maybe 5 or 6 times a year, everyone I go there to talk to, like friends or people I run into, nobody nobody does anything there.
Yeah.
Because I usually go, my wife and I go for, despite what I said about Rent earlier, I do love musical theater. We go for like several shows and we'll talk to friends and be like, have you seen this? Have you seen that? And they're like, I haven't seen a show in like 12 years. And it's like, you live in the one of the greatest cities in the world with all this culture, but the people who live there do not dip their toes in it. They just want it as bragging rights. So it's on a shelf for them to dust off whenever they're talking to someone else.
Yeah.
Like, look what we have, but then it goes right back on the shelf and they never really play with it. So
Yeah.
that's my frustration with New York.
I saw Funny Girl 3 times, and then the third time I knew it so well that I just jumped up on stage, and you'd think that they would object to that, but they loved it. They were like applauding me. They
Mark.
just said, take this role yourself.
You're
Are
lying.
we not
You're lying.
You're not doing that anymore?
You're not Leah Michelle.
No, show's over.
Show's everybody.
Hang it up.
I did see it once when I was there. Just
No, you didn't.
this
I
past.
No, you didn't.
There's a
What you
grain
saw,
of- there's a
you saw an
grain.
episode of Seinfeld and you said that Elaine is a funny girl, and then in your head you've turned that into that you went and saw Funny Girl on Broadway with Streisand. So
Mhm.
they're coming to take you away, buddy.
I didn't say Streisand unless she was playing one of the older parts. Sometimes the older actors they
The Joel
come
Grays
back
of it all. Yeah.
and they play the old characters and they do it in disguise, so you don't even know it's them.
So you saw a revival. Oh,
Oh,
a
yikes.
revival. Okay.
Yikes,
Did you get to that one, Adel? Did you see that Lee Michelle? That was just what my wife picked. I mean, she was amazing.
I did not. Well, here's what I did see. This is real. As I saw Parade, not knowing anything about the content or subject. Neither did my wife. We just knew we liked Ben Platt, so we saw Parade, and we're like, this should be fun. The name's Parade. Then intermission hit, and we were both in tears and looking at each other, sort of shaking our heads, being like, "What are we?" I don't know if you know the content of Parade, but it's
No, is it people have
Jewish.
AIDS?
AIDS, is it AIDS?
It's a small town in Georgia in the early 1900s, and a Jewish man moves down from New York to open a pencil factory. A young woman is murdered, and the entire town kind of gets together to decide they're going to blame this Jewish man from New York. And it's based on a true story, and it is one of the most brutal things I've ever seen. It's like Requiem for a Dream ×2, but with songs.
I guess I've just seen the more loosely based one where it's like a guy, he's in the South and he has some salsa from New York City. Is that the same source material? New York City, and then they
yeah.
lynch him. I
It's more
believe
the
that's
Southwest. It happens in the
Okay.
Southwest.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. That's different.
Very different. Very different.
The extended version of that commercial with the actual lynching is not a. I was
Yeah.
very surprised to see that.
Yeah.
I do have a recommendation. Yesterday I got back from London, and my knees are tired. I was cramped, but I saw a musical called Operation Mincemeat. I guess they made a
know
movie
the
out of it.
story.
Really?
I know the story. Oh yes.
I guess they made a movie out of it, and I guess the movie's terrible. But a friend of mine recommended the musical, and the musical could not be better. It's about a botched operation during World War II to kind of capture Hitler or something. But it's in the vein of like Hamilton or Six. It's just outstanding. So if you have Spotify or any other means to listen to that soundtrack, I highly recommend it. It's outstanding.
Yeah, it's a true story. At least the real Operation Mincemeat is a true story where we're gonna just get a random dead guy from England, dress him up like an army officer, chuck him overboard from a submarine with some quote unquote secret plans handcuffed to his wrist, knowing he would wash ashore in Spain. And of course, the Spanish were friendly with the Germans, and they knew exactly what would happen, and hoping the Germans would then see. I, no joke, 15 years ago started a screenplay based on that story.
Holy cow.
Which is really good. It's really good. And I had
You should do something with it.
Well, now they already have a movie. Now they already have a movie about it. I'm furious.
Yeah.
And my whole framing device was we'll talk offline. It was actually a love story. It was actually a love story.
I like that.
Of the German intelligence officer who was in charge of piecing together this dead guy's life. Because the people who actually perpetrated the English spies, they had fake photographs, had movie tickets, they had mail, like letter. They had secretaries at the office write letters to them. They went through love letters.
Yeah.
So it's like, what if this German guy's imagining what this guy's life was actually like, you know? And then, of course, at the very, very end, he finds a flaw in this guy's and realizes that it's all a big deception. But then does he want to tell it? Because in the meantime, he's realized he's trying to have a wonderful life with his young wife in Germany, which is getting completely destroyed and bombed. And like, I just want the war to be over so I can try to salvage any kind of life. And maybe by me going along with the deception, I can end it more quickly.
Bill, that sounds incredible. You should
tears
do
rolling.
something with
I
it.
know.
There could be,
Yeah.
I mean, there's several movies about the same event.
That's true.
How many
Deep
World
Impact
War II movies are there?
Deep Impact, and yeah.
It'd be funny if it's like somebody made a World War II movie. I can't do that. But this, I guess, there's a documentary thing where they said that the group who put together this musical, which I think came out in like 2019 or something, they said that they had to pull back. There were several songs and set pieces that were true. It's all a true story.
Yeah.
But afterwards, the audience would be like, love the musical. It's clear that you made up this. And they're like, these things really happened. So they literally had to cut out like 30 minutes of set pieces and songs.
Wow.
Because the audience did not believe the real stuff that happened.
Wow.
So,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give it a listen. It's very good.
Yeah.
And Bill, I want to read this screenplay if you're
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll dust it off.
Can you just add in? Do you guys know the Dunderbeck song? Dunderbeck, oh Dunderbeck, how could you be so mean, forever having invented the sausage machine? This is a song that my father, a folk singer, would sing to me as a child. And so you're bringing up mincemeat has just led me to be Googling about this. So
I want to hear this song. I did see the new Sweeney Todd was very good in New York. Speaking of mincemeat. Yeah. No Agatha Christie, but Annalee Ashford held their own. And Josh Groban, the voice of an angel.
Very nice. All right. Well, let's call it. I really had fun with this team thing. Just
this was fun.
Reflecting on the, but it did seem like letting it run a little longer was called for because just to let everybody talk. I don't know.
Yeah.
It didn't seem to. I guess we'll have to see how people get.
No,
to
I
the
agree.
end.
Yeah.
See what the fans say. Yeah.
All right. Well, let us know, fans.
Please.
And thank you so much, Adal. It's just a
Thank
real
you.
treat to talk to you again.
Yeah. Always great seeing you, man. And I'm surprised we haven't bumped into each other.
Truly, yes. Well,
Yeah.
I'm either at home or on a plane. So
There we go.
but hopefully I will see you soon. Maybe on a Wednesday night. Mark, let me know.
Maybe okay. Saturday night, perhaps. Okay.
If there's a particular Wednesday night that works, so that once my daughter is leaving, she's home from college. She's going to Italy for the semester, and once 2 weeks, then I will feel like I have no reason to be to not just leave for an evening or 6 hours or whatever it comes down to. So
Perfect.
soon. All right. Later,
Awesome,
guys.
everybody. Take care.